Hello! Today I'm going to try something a little bit different. Instead of making a full-fledged drink, I'm going to be trying something out. I have spent quite some time trying to make a black drink. I haven't been able to make something dark enough. I've tried different colas, I've tried many different alcohols, and it still ends up being brown. I try to use the colors of the mixers or the colors of the alcohols when I can, but when all that fails, which it has here so far, then I'm going to use some food coloring. I was able to find some black food coloring, and I'm going to try that out. Now, I've used food coloring before, and you can't just put a drop of it into a shot. That's way too much. The ratio of food coloring to liquid is way too high. It's highly concentrated, and it will just taste like food coloring. I've been holding off on reviewing certain figures and characters, such as the Muto, until I can get something dark enough. I know you can't just mix a drop with a shot. So I'm going to do about 15 ounces. That's about 10 shots worth. I'm going to use triple sec because it's cheap, and if this messes up, not too much money wasted. I ran out of triple sec at about 14 ounces. It's close enough. I'm going to start with just one drop. There we go. Looks a little green when it went in. Mix it with this guy. Wow. Imagine all that food coloring mixed in with one shot. No, thank you. I'm going to pour that in here. It's got that kind of greenish tint. That's what happens when you have like a Crayola black marker and it gets wet. So this container is much thinner than the measuring glass, and you can still see that it's pretty nice and dark. This will work. Give it a little taste, see if it tastes like food coloring. Tastes just like triple sec. Something else I want to try. I know I use triple sec, which has a significantly low alcohol content, so I want to see if the grenadine can still sink. So if I'm making something like a Muto, I want to separate the red and the black. Hard to see from here, but there is that layer of red down at the bottom. Last thing I want to try is adding in some silver luster dust. Pour in a shot, add in some silver, mix it up. Doesn't show up well on camera. How cool is that? The figure we're looking at today is the Flying Fortress, made by Photon Collectibles. I will link to them below. Now, this review is not endorsed by Photon Collectibles in any way. They don't know that I'm doing this. In fact, Photon Collectibles, if you're watching and you don't want your brand associated with drinking and alcohol and whatnot, please let me know and I'm happy to take the video down. Photon Collectibles, if you haven't heard of them, they're a company based in the UK. They make highly articulated figures thus far of characters in the Monsterverse. They have a couple other Titans that they're working on, but I recently got my hands on this, their version of the Argo from Godzilla King of the Monsters. There's their logo. This is PC004, Photon Collectibles, their fourth offering, the Flying Fortress. Like I said, they're based in the UK. They wrapped up everything so nicely to ship it here to me in the States. Even though the figure is in resin, everything came safe and sound. The figures come in these white boxes with this nice slip cover around it. Features some pretty sweet art, and they do have an art card inside. Inside the package, all the figures, all the parts of everything come really nicely wrapped in bubble wrap. I took all the bubble wrap out so I can make sure that there was nothing broken. Everything arrived safe and sound. Inside, they have their art card and a nice sleeve. Let's get this out. There's the card. Nice cardstock. On the back, the abilities. For their figures, they've been doing limited runs of 100 of each. And I ended up with the first one, which is really cool, because I was pretty far down the line for their parasites, the Mutos. So it was really neat to be the first one shipped out for this one. Aside from the card, there are three other things inside the box. We have the 3D printed resin Argo, comes unpainted. I'll get to this in a moment. We also have a base and a stand, which is really nice of them to include. The base has this nice shiny plastic. It has their logo on it, and it looks like it should fit any of the Tamashi stands. Then it has this arm with 1, 2, 3 points of articulation, and it plugs right into their base. Joints are nice and tight, and that little bit plugs right into their Flying Fortress. Put this on some white paper here so you can see it better. Here is the Argo. Everything they make is theoretically in scale with the Monster Arts or NECA figures. Like I said, this is 3D printed in resin. You can see on the thinner ends, like the tip of the wings, and down here at the bottom, the thinner it is, the more translucent it becomes. You can leave it the way it is, or you can paint it up. It's entirely up to you. All of their kits thus far are unpainted. Nice detail on the back there. Here's the underside. There's a little hole here that you can plug the base into. Front view, here it is from the side. Fits snugly into the base, and like I said earlier, these joints are nice and tight. There we go. The only official Argo that we've received is this little rubber one that came with the Jack-specific figures at Walmart. Here's how that compares size-wise to their Flying Fortress. Here we've got Rodan coming after the Argo. Seems to scale quite nicely. As of this recording, they have about half of their Flying Fortresses remaining. You can check out the link below if you want to grab one for yourself. Including shipping to the US, this cost me about $35–40 depending on the currency conversion at the time. I like this guy and I'm looking forward to painting him up. Bear in mind, shipping internationally, shipping everywhere is a little slow right now. But while you wait for your figure to arrive, I hope that you please drink responsibly.